How do I start this video? I guess sort of just start talking really. Hello, and if you're new here, my name's Adam Waters and I'm a digital marketing agency owner. Now, for those of you that know me and have been following my journey, you'll probably know how I got to where I am today really well. But I really just wanted to explain my sort of journey of building the marketing agency and how, despite people telling me that it was a dying model and that it wasn't sustainable, I've created a sustainable business out of it. So during this video, I'm going to speak about my journey, all the way from university to traveling with the business to where I am now. So to start off, I was 17, 18, just finishing my A levels, and I didn't really have a clue what I wanted to do. I had a few ideas in my head. I feel like I maybe wanted to go into a trade. I can't really remember too well, or I wanted to do a sort of degree apprenticeship in something. Anyway, university was like never on my mind or never on my radar. I just didn't think of it as an option, to be honest. I didn't give it a great deal of thought. Anyway, I was on a walk with a mate one day, and he was going to the University of Lincoln and said, well, why don't you come with? Why don't you go to university? Just that simple sort of almost jokey question led to me looking at the university, looking at the different courses that they apply, looking at other universities and realising that actually this was a real option. So I chose a university to do business with entrepreneurship. And really the choice for doing entrepreneurship was because ever since I was young, really, I've worked for my parents' business, and I've also had like little side hustles. I had a robe buying and reselling business when I was sort of 15, 16, selling stuff on sort of Facebook Marketplace and eBay. Ever since then, I've always known I want to start a business. I've been listening to like business podcasts and really trying to find what I'm passionate about, but knowing I do want to do something where I'm going off by myself. Anyway, fast forward to the summer of first year. I was at a warehouse job, and I had my headphones in, listening to a podcast, and someone who they had on was a marketing agency owner. Anyway, they were speaking about the model. Ultimately, the video was one of these sort of gurus trying to sell a course, but they were speaking about this model of a marketing agency, and something just clicked to me, and I was like, that's what I want to have a go at. I didn't even know I wanted to do it and get to where I am now, but I was just like, right, going back in second year, we had to develop a business idea as part of our module. And I was like, right, I want a marketing agency. That's the sort of model I want to go in with for the next sort of couple of years. Anyway, I was really fortunate to get in touch with a local agency owner in Lincoln. Shout out to Tommy. And yeah, he really taught me everything I know in terms of seeing what it's like to run a marketing agency and the sort of ins and outs of it, and really taught me so much. And without that experience, I don't know where I'd be at today. But yeah, really what happened was I was at university at this point, and I was obviously doing my university work. I was working at B&Q, and then I was also doing some work with Tommy on the side as an internship, and then wanting to grow my business. But what I decided during sort of end of second year and during third year was to go full time into the marketing side of things. So I was fortunate that I did have enough work coming through from Tommy, our identity agency, where I could shift over and sort of work more for him and just focus on the marketing stuff. And that allowed me and gave me the breathe room, especially while I was at university and over the summer, to push my business as much as possible, learn as much as I could, go on different courses, try different things. And I had a 2-year period of really, I did projects for friends and families and the odd client, but nothing really too sustainable. But yeah, that's what I found is it was hard to deal with the fact that it wasn't growing as fast as I would have liked, but that's ultimately really what happens. And anyone who tells you otherwise is just lying to you. There's no such thing as you flick a switch, you're on, and then skyrocket. It just doesn't happen. Where from there? So I got my first few clients, and again I was working for Tommy, and this allowed me to travel with my business last year. So over summer I travelled Southeast Asia with the missus and did some work whilst I was out there. I think looking back, maybe it wasn't the right time for me to travel with the business out there, especially because it was a really early stage. And I was finishing university at the time, so I was traveling, finished uni, running my business, working for Tommy. It was just a lot on at that moment, and I was getting my dissertation ready, doing all these different things, whilst doing my masters. Oh yeah, so I did 3 years of undergrad and then switched onto my masters just to give me an extra bit of time, and it was more focused on digital marketing. The master was in digital marketing, so it gave me that more focused niche. Say for example, I wanted to go into industry, I had that focused degree. That was my thought process behind choosing that. Yeah, so I got the opportunity to travel with the business, which is great. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't change it for the world. But when I got back, that's when everything went a bit mad. So I had a month when I was back where I was just finishing my dissertation, submitted it. Then after that, the only focus I had was my business for the first time in 3 years. And this allowed me to put so much time directed into it and really start seeing sustainable growth. So I found a niche that I really am passionate about, psychological therapy businesses, and that's allowed me to focus in on one industry. But I'm also working with a range of different clients in different industries, don't get me wrong, but it's allowed me to really focus my sort of branding and voice towards that. And yeah, over the past 5 months, it's really just sort of skyrocketed to the point now I'm doing this full time. I'm still working with Tommy, still doing bits for him on the occasion, but it's now shifted where it's more of a like partnership on different works, and we're looking to collab on different bits, agency to agency. That is almost a quick version, condensed version of the journey, but roughly what happened. And I know in that sort of short story, it sounds like it went from one thing to another, but at the time, it felt like I was just hitting hurdle after hurdle, like crashing and crashing, because I was working so hard at what I wanted to do, but not seeing the growth I wanted to see. And it's weird how that when I took a step back, when I finished university and I could actually focus, then it started seeing sustainable growth. And that makes so much sense because I could prioritize it. But I think I also needed those 2 years to build the business slowly, develop my skills, because that's the most important thing. I can't be selling stuff that I'm not really good at. So one question I had that I wanted to answer and really say about, like, what would I do differently? To be honest, I wouldn't change anything because it's led to where I am now. But what I do is I take the pressure off a little bit, because I was so stressed for so long about this idea of being like successful, and I'm still striving towards that. But I think if I could say it to someone who is just starting out, is don't put so much pressure on yourself. You're doing the right things. Keep trying stuff. The main thing is trial and error. I've failed so many times at so many different strategies I've tried. But yeah, you need to just keep trying, pushing forward. And for me, it took 2 years. That was when the mark where I started seeing more growth. So don't ever think, don't try something for like 3 months, don't see growth, and then like quit, because yeah, never quit, just keep pushing. But yeah, if I could say anything to my younger self, just stop putting so much pressure on yourself, enjoy it, enjoy the come up a bit. But yeah, anyway, that was a sort of story video about my journey. If you're interested in what I'm doing, I'll be posting more content like this. I'll be posting some more stuff related to digital marketing, so different skills you can use. Say you're a business owner, stuff you can use to improve your online presence. But then I'll also be posting like personal content, so different stuff about my story and what I'm getting up to. So if you're interested in my journey and want to follow along with me, drop me a follow and leave a suggestion in the comments below for future videos. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next one.